His name is Alban Michon. He's known as the Ice Nomad. This polar explorer has been a friend of mine for over 10 years. We share the same passion for the far Arctic North, and I've gone along all of his adventures. My name is Vincent Berthet, but my friends call me Vince. When Alban asked me to handle the logistics for his latest expedition, a long-distance ski trek on the ice floe, I didn't even hesitate. The journey ended up being a human feat that pushed him to give his all. It allowed him to be a privileged witness of a world the very existence of which is threatened. Together we shared a fascination for this white desert that's shrinking due to the melting of the ice caps. It's now my turn to share it with you. "67 degrees 49 minutes 32 seconds north, 115 degrees 5 minutes 42 seconds west. Welcome to Kugluktuk, temperature minus 40 degrees Celsius. This Inuit hamlet of 1,300 inhabitants will be the rear base for our adventure. The big departure is set a few days from now.
Did you get the food?
We meet in the little garage that doubles as a workshop to prepare all the gear.
We've got cheese, hazelnuts, chocolate.
Alban's goal is to get to Cambridge Bay, some 450 kilometers from here. It all started with a story on the news. Fresh off an ice boat, Chinese tourists were enjoying a giant barbecue. They were sipping champagne on the ice pack as a DJ emceed the party. It was this footage that convinced Alban to set off again on a solo journey across the frozen desert, to bear testament to this world changing ever so rapidly. I've downloaded the entire detailed map between Kugluktuk and Cambridge Bay. Once in Cambridge Bay, Alban will dive under the ice floe to collect plankton samples from areas that are inaccessible by boat.
Do you think I can dive over here? Maybe there?
In order to better understand the specifics of the Northwestern Passage facing climate change, Alban had met with a scientific expert prior to flying to the far north. Glaciologist Gerhard Griner had insisted on the urgency of bearing testament to the importance of the Arctic landscapes before they disappear.
Since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, let's say 1900, or the mid-19th century rather, the Earth's temperature has risen by 1 degree. But in the Arctic, it's been a lot worse, about twice as much. The Arctic ice regenerates in winter and melts in summer. The surface went from 6 million square kilometers 30 to 40 years ago to only 4 million. That means we went from an area 12 times the size of France to one that's only 8 times the size of France. We've lost the equivalent of 4 times the size of France in terms of the sea of ice in the summer, over only 40 years or just about. The forecast is that if global temperatures increase by another 4 degrees, practically all of it will be gone. There's one comparison that I like to make. You had the famous Ice Age some 20,000 years ago with glaciers all over. Basically, all of the Alps were covered with glaciers. A city like Grenoble was covered by 1,000 meters of ice, and all of Canada was under 3,000 meters of ice. Well, around that time, the average global temperature was 4 degrees lower than that at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, just over a century ago. Based on a model with significant emissions, we could see an increase of 3 degrees in 50, 60, or 70 years.
Wow, so that's really huge, isn't it?
In terms of climate change, yes, it's significant.
In the near future, the ice will be gone, and this territory will become accessible, which is generating a lot of greed. While some people see it as a polar El Dorado, others are more concerned, notably the Inuit. I remember the words of Alban that convinced me to follow him on his journey. Bringing awareness, documenting and bearing testament, that's what I want to leave behind. We still need to buy the fuel that will power the camping stove, as well as the ammunition for the flare guns. These final preparations bring us closer to the moment where Alban will leave town and face the Arctic vastness on his own.
Hello. 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 Welcome.
Hello. Hello. Yeah. You? How are you, Martin? Yeah.
Hello, Alban. Nice to meet you.
Alan. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
At the store, we're greeted with a warm welcome. Alban's project arouses a lot of curiosity.
Ok. Try. Ok, so il nous laisse ça avec la boîte.
The Inuit think we're lunatics, two crackpots who came from France, completely unaware of the dangers that await Alban. Again and again, they implore him not to go, not alone, not like that. Doing this in winter is crazy. The ice can become a formidable trap, and in the event of an accident, potential rescuers would have no chance of getting to him in time. I'm well aware of these risks as we've experienced them firsthand on numerous occasions during our previous expeditions. Thanks to a satellite phone, I'll be monitoring his progress and guiding him. Nevertheless, solitude is an added danger when you're dealing with a hostile environment. We lay everything out between two pulks, the sleds that Alban will have to pull behind him. Everything's in place. The food, camp gear, and fuel make up the bulk of the cargo. Out of precaution, Alban also takes a rifle in case he comes across a bear or a grizzly. All superfluous wrapping needs to be eliminated in order to lighten and optimize transport. In total, he'll load over 160 kilos of equipment on the sleds. We enjoyed this last evening. It's time to laugh and recall anecdotes about previous expeditions. For several weeks, Alban will be all on his own. It's an exceptional adventure. I do my best to hide my concern and to focus on my mission. Tomorrow, he'll set forth on the huge field of ice. As Alban slowly progresses in the polar vastness, I ask myself, did he know this would be so difficult? The sleds are incredibly heavy, making the ordeal quite grueling. Every step, every meter conquered is a victory. A small mirror is tied to his ski jacket to make sure certain parts of his face, like the nose or the eyelids, don't freeze when he faces the wind. Frostbite can be devastating. In this hostile environment, every decision matters, and you have to remain focused not to let this white paradise turn into hell. At the end of the day, the infallible GPS indicates 800 meters per hour, twice as slow as anticipated. He must quickly overcome the disappointment, get back to work and set up the bivouac. Every day, nearly 4 hours of assembly and disassembly will be necessary. The cold, the snow and the looming storms force Alban to make multiple precautions whenever he sets up camp.
This is nice.
Alban can finally settle down, but the comfort is relative. Inside the tent, the temperature is minus 20 degrees. The temperatures that Alban must face, which feel like minus 40 to minus 50 degrees, take an extreme toll on the body. But he's perfectly prepared, and the first days of the expedition unfold as we had predicted. After a week of making progress on the ice, we realize the gear is deteriorating a lot faster than expected.
I broke my zipper. I've got holes in my gloves. It's a mess. But it's okay. Oh, shit. I can't even drink. Damn it. Note to the manufacturers. How are we supposed to put a finger in this little hole to open the bottle? With mittens on. You just can't. It's impossible. Nothing to do. Look at this crap. See? Look, it's gaping. Nice going, Mr. Explorer. The gear's breaking. It's all going to shit. What am I supposed to do without a zipper?
Makeshift repairs allow to limit the damage. The little sewing kit added at the last second turns out to be particularly helpful. But the real problem is elsewhere. While a standard person consumes 1,200 calories per day on average, based on our calculations, Alban has to ingest 5 times more in order to endure the cold and the pulling of the sleds. In spite of his efforts, he still can't reach the 6,000 calories needed. He's losing a lot of weight and getting weak. Alban's body struggles to assimilate all this food, which is causing serious digestive problems. By the end of the expedition, his weight will be down over 11 kilos. What we hadn't anticipated is that in extreme conditions, this kind of inconvenience turns out to be very cumbersome if you're wearing mittens. Right, Mr. Explorer?
It feels weird to be here, because today, this morning I realized that I'm really on the Northwest Passage, where all the boats are obliged to transit. Anybody wanting to get through the Northwest Passage. There you have a coast, and the other coast is right there, I can see it. And it's really, they're really close. There's not much space. And what does that mean? It means that in the last 10 years, there's been a radical change here. What will it look like in another 10? It's crazy. In 6 months, you'll have passengers going through here. You'll have big boats with 200, 300, 400 passengers going through. And that's not even the biggest problem. One day, I'm sure an oil tanker will come through here. And when that day comes, they'll have to be careful. Because it's pretty shallow, and this whole area hasn't been properly mapped yet. And if there's a spill, well, good luck cleaning the oil off a polar bear.
Yes. Hello, hello.
Vimps! Let me give you my coordinates.
Yeah. Give me your location, please.
Here's my location. I pretty much went along the coast and the islands. It wasn't easy because the GPS doesn't display everything. I saw a lot of tracks.
Do you know what they were?
No, but they're not bears.
Coming across a bear has always been one of his greatest fears. It's a real phobia. Luckily, he won't have to deal with any of them on this expedition. After each of our phone calls, I'm relieved to hear he's in good spirits despite the fatigue and the loneliness.
That's how I look in the morning. I just woke up. Oh, look at that face. There's a gorgeous sunrise, though. It's not all bad. Thank God for the sunlight. There's a funny thing. It almost looks like a mirage over there. It's incredibly beautiful.
He needs to keep going, again and again. Ignore the pain. Come on, girls, keep pushing. That's how Alban calls his sleds. The journey is desperately long.
Stupid GPS. Let me show you the sunset. Here I was thinking I'd done at least 10 kilometers. I was glad, it felt like a good day. It wasn't that bad, I thought. I've got lotion all over. But when I looked at it just now, it's at 8 kilometers. 8. Oh, a lead. Oh, that's a nice crack. Here we have 2 big plates of ice floe that fractured over several kilometers. Looks a little soft.
A storm is forecast. It's impossible for Alban to change itineraries. I've assessed the risk. Moving in such conditions would be dangerous. I quickly let Alban know. He must shut himself up in his tent and wait. Safety and caution are essential if we don't want this expedition to turn into a nightmare.
It's so cold. It's so cold. It's so cold. With the wind, the temperature reaches minus 53. Minus 53. I never signed up for minus 53. It's so cold. I finally got the technique down, oops, condensation, to melt my cheese. And tonight, the meal is seafood delight. Here we go. I'm not going to get all depressed just because it's minus 50 out there, or because it's windy, or because I'm alone. I'm just going to listen to music.
Welcome up to Hotel California. Sipping love and praise, sipping love and taste, sipping love and praise.
After 3 days of winds of extreme violence, Alban can finally resume his journey. The days go by, each as punishing and monotonous as the other. He must keep going tirelessly in order to make up for the time lost during the storm.
The temperature's been minus 48 degrees. The problem is, I can't put on the mask. I can't put it on because I wouldn't see anything with this condensation. So I'm just careful. Minus 48. It's beautiful for sure, but it's freezing cold. Holy cow. Oh.
The weather is changing. The ice pack is getting overcast by a thick layer of humid, chilling mist. The splendor of the landscape and the horizon disappear as everything blends into a dismal, blurry gloom.
I've just settled down. I just settled down after a pretty special day. Today we had a total whiteout. My visibility was at the very best approximately 50 to 70 meters, which is really tiring over an entire day. I tried to put on yellow glasses to see the relief slightly better, but it didn't work. It was a struggle, a real struggle today. It sucks. And since it was all up and down, I lost my balance on several occasions. It felt like being on a boat. The whole thing swayed like this, you know. Then, all of a sudden, in the far distance, I saw something that looked like a grizzly. It was dark brown and pretty far away, so I took out my binoculars. I zoomed in and said to myself, damn, that might actually be a grizzly. But I kept going anyway. I figured the course was 130, so that's the direction I stayed in. But then I noticed it wasn't moving. It was still at 130, and it wasn't moving, which was odd. I got closer, took out the binoculars again, but couldn't see very well. I saw something that could have been a grizzly. I figured I'd keep going, still towards 130. I got even closer, and then I thought, no, that can't be a grizzly. It's not moving at all. It's weird. It's not a grizzly. And that's when I thought they were military tents. I figured it was military men doing a drill or something, because it felt like I was seeing people around it. I kept getting closer with my binoculars still, and it was actually two rocks. Yeah, two rocks, just a couple of big pebbles. Anyway, I'll put up the tent now. I just took off my beanie. Oh, my God. I don't know if it's me, my eyes, but I think I look terrible. I know why I had hallucinations yesterday. First, I thought it was a grizzly, then I thought it was the tents. I even walked in that direction and everything, in the middle of the whiteout. Well, it's because when I woke up this morning, my eyes hurt. They still do. I checked the medical guide, and it looks like I have corneal frostbite. That's got to be it. I spent the entire day, yesterday or the day before, I don't remember, in total whiteout and with a headwind. It was a cold wind that felt like minus 35. So that's obviously how my cornea got frostbite the next day. Is it open? Carefully wash your hands first. Well, that's going to be tricky. I'll need my baby wipes. Apply the ointment while pulling down the eyelid and looking up.
Ah!
I have to say, though, when I take off the mask, oh, I can tell how well it protects me. Oh. The directions said the size of a grain of rice.
This incident worries me. Frostbite is very painful and takes a long time to heal. I see to it that Alban doesn't stray from the pre-established route, and I hope that no new complication hinders his progress.
I'm not sure where to go. I'll have to zigzag because this whole section's a mess. It goes up and down. Yeah, up and down.
We lose contact. The satellite phone hasn't worked in several days. Each new attempt to reach Alban has failed. He's all alone, slaving away. I know how much the absence of communication can weaken a human being. He's alone to face his doubts and fatigue. I just hope he doesn't go crazy. I'm finally relieved as I receive a text message in the form of 3 letters, A-OK, along with these GPS coordinates. The last few days, when Alban was completely isolated, are now over, and communications have been restored. We'll be able to talk on the phone soon. Alban is exhausted by the long journey on this inhospitable land. Feeling happy to have completed it, he regains his strength before taking on a new challenge.
I've just made it to Cambridge Bay, so I'm going to rest a little. Yeah, I'm going to settle down and take a day off. After 40 days, I think I'm allowed that. I could sleep in, that would be nice. So yeah, I'll settle down. I have a couple of things I need to prepare, because the idea is to try and explore the underside of the ice floe, to go underneath it, under the ice pack of the Northwest Passage, to see what it looks like and collect a bit of plankton, so we can study its DNA and see if there's been any change.
Digging a hole in the ice floe. Just a few years back, this endeavor would have been unthinkable given how thick the ice was. Today it seems possible, but no one knows how much time and effort that will require. After 7 hours of relentless labor, the hole is finished. Alban can finally dive in. Fearing that a bear could spot him and take him for an easy prey when he gets out of the water, he keeps a periscope and a rifle in close proximity. Alban's patience and endurance will soon be rewarded. After an intense moment of concentration, he sinks in the dark, frozen water.
Wow. That was an amazing dive. It was totally awesome. Oh my God. It's like the ice floe opened its heart to me. It was beautiful. I thought the hole was bigger than it was. I probably made it too small. That said, it did take me 7 hours to make it. When I was going down, shoot, thank God I've done a lot of similar dives, because as I was going down the tunnel of ice, it was pretty narrow. I felt friction. I could tell by the noise that I was rubbing against it. I wasn't sure I'd make it. I tried to force my way to the right, then to the left, and then, bam, I managed to pierce through the tunnel of ice. So I managed to pass, even though what happened was I dug the hole in the shape of a funnel, not on purpose, so the top was relatively wide, so to speak, and the further down I got, the narrower it was. But once I was under the water, there it was. I was welcomed by small jellyfish, by carrier shells and angel sharks. It really feels, it's really a crazy feeling. It's kind of hard to explain. You're weightless under the ice floe of the Northwest Passage, which tells a story. What I like about the ice is the fact that it's solid, but it's also very fragile. The core tells us about the past, yet it's affecting our future through climate change. And that's what I'm passionate about. The ice is talking, it's telling me something. It's alive, it moves. Sometimes it even sings, it cracks. That ice is fascinating and ghostly at the same time.
L'eau est à moins 1,6 et...
The water temperature is minus 1.6 degrees. Anything can happen.
Voilà, donc faut quand même...
It can all go wrong, so yeah.
Sur les
I
plongées,
really need to be careful
même
when
si
I'm
je suis bien,
diving,
je suis vachement content.
even if I feel good and very focused. I'm
Ouais,
super
ouais,
cautious.
c'est
I
clair,
mean,
c'est-
we're
ça
still
reste
talking about diving
plongée,
in the
pratique,
Arctic,
seul,
alone,
loin,
and far from everything.
This series of dives is a real challenge for the gear. During preparation, we were afraid that the rebreather might not work in such extreme temperatures. We had to make sure that the soda lime, which is the chemical that absorbs the CO2 that Alban breathes out, would properly activate. The gear seems to be working, but because of the cold, it takes several minutes to start it up. Alban takes advantage of this time to clear his mind and refocus. He visualizes each and every gesture he'll have to make. Ice diving is all about mental effort. These dives are designed to collect plankton for the Laboratory of Marine Biology and Ecology of the French National Centre for Scientific Research. Once his mission is accomplished, Alban takes one last look at this subaquatic landscape before getting back to the surface, still in awe. In spite of the cold, Alban follows the handling protocol. He collects, indexes, and records all the samples. By sequencing their DNA, the scientists will be able to gauge the biodiversity of the plankton. This plankton produces over half of the world's oxygen and plays a key role in climate regulation. It is therefore vital to understand how these microorganisms will be affected by global warming. Alban doesn't want his expedition to be just an athletic performance. He wants his engagement to be meaningful. Allowing researchers to study samples from these inaccessible parts feels truly rewarding. Alban had initially thought about continuing the journey all the way to Resolute Bay. That would represent over 50 more days of skiing. I think it's too dangerous. The ice breakup on the floe is too far along. His damaged gear and highly weakened physical condition would make this extra step of the journey entirely too risky. I convince him to end his expedition in Cambridge Bay.
It's cool to go on expeditions, to go on adventures, to dare to try to do something. It doesn't really matter if you succeed or not. I think what matters is the journey to get there. Obviously, if you manage to reach your goal, then all the better. But I believe it's the journey that teaches you the most. I just have to remember next time that it's not the pain or the difficulty that I love. It's this beauty, this extreme benevolence of the polar world, even though it can be ruthless.
The Northwest Passage is legendary. Numerous explorers died trying to discover it throughout the 19th century. Alban is perfectly aware of this heritage. His adventure directly followed in their footsteps. This journey, during which words like freedom and humility took on their full meaning, will forever stay with him. Only a few more hours of pulling his heavy sleds until Cambridge Bay appears like an ice-clad mirage. It's time for Alban to rejoin the world of humans. After a final effort, this epic will soon be over. He takes in the sublime scenery one last time. He wants to keep a long-lasting memory of this wild and fascinating polar landscape. The raw beauty of nature transcends everything. But today, this beauty is melting. Little by little, it's disappearing right in front of him. It's disappearing right in front of us.